Alright. What is up, PV family? It's your boy, PV Critgod, back at it again for another video. Today, we've got something very special. As you guys might know, I actually managed to place second this past weekend at the Gencon online event with Massain, my beloved. It's a very good tournament, man. Very happy about that. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the win. But I'll explain a little bit more about that later as I talk about the match. I'm not. I don't plan on going very in depth into the build. This is extremely similar to what I previously posted with the aggro version. So if you're interested in seeing that, I recommend that you go check out the previous video I have before listening to the changes that I made, so that you know what's going on and you get a better idea of what I'm trying to do with this deck. I'm just going to go over the changes that I made, and then we're going to go over the tournament recap and just talk about the experience. So, you know, I'm very happy that I managed to play second. I'm very proud, and like I keep telling people that this deck's good, man. Nobody wants to listen to me, but here we are. If nobody's gonna listen, I just have to prove it, you know. The tournament was and I mean this with the least amount of disrespect possible. The tournament was a pretty easy day for the most part for me. I didn't. I mean, and it's mostly just because it's an aggro deck. I didn't feel like I had to put in too much effort, to be honest, to get second place or just to win as many times as I did. But again, it's probably just because of the nature of the deck. So if you've already seen the previous build, the only thing that I changed was I had Drive in this as a 2-of, but I took it out and I replaced it with 3 Eliminators. The reason for that was that I never saw myself wanting to tap 2 for the Ape to draw 2, and I don't want to play the Black Boo because that's a black card. I need color cards, and then I was reminded of the existence of the Eliminator, so I took that out and I basically added a card to my deck. Amazing. I mean, this card was absolutely amazing. Like all day, you know, whenever it came in and I used it, it was just beautiful. Like, as a turn one play, you know, you always want to be playing Minion or True Fighting Spirit if you have it. But if you don't happen to have it, unfortunately, you could just and you mill this, you can just tap for it or something like that. It's huge value. Like, it's just like tap one, draw one. It's very good. It's very simplistic, but it's extremely valuable. And then I don't own a fourth copy of the promo, and I don't own a fourth copy of Beyond All Limits yet, but I will because I'm getting the altered version of this now, and I swapped those out for one of each pseudo combo, one Goku and one Cell. And the reason for this is because I have 3 red cards and 3 green cards, so I did one of each just to up that color count. And honestly, like I might actually keep these in the main deck now. I might just add one of these now to the deck and keep the draw cell and the draw coup. Sorry, I just realized that these are like upside down for y'all basically, but like I might actually keep them because, you know, turn one again it's like the Eliminator. Turn one I might have not had a play, but I had draw coup or draw cell in hand, so you know, and I mill all black. So to make sure I'm hitting that crit, I just combo this and draw a card. It doesn't really hurt me. It doesn't really do anything to hinder me. So yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is Unisons. I only played 4 Gotenks, and I've always been kind of iffy about this since I started playing it. But to be honest, it's been working pretty well. I only missed on it one game against Danny on Cell Surge, and it didn't really matter. It could have. It definitely could have, but it didn't. It's been pretty consistent. Another thing, sorry if you hear the animals on the back. This is like, I can't record anywhere quieter for the moment, so sorry. But yeah, 4 Unisons was good. If you, like I said, I might go up on a couple cards, and I already did, putting in a 3rd Eliminator as opposed to 2 drives. You might want to consider going for a 5th Unison, but I've been okay in 4. You know, I don't always mill it, but I'll have it in my hand. So next, I do want to talk about thwarting really quick because I only run 2, and people might have questions about that. And just another thing, Um, it was fun at 2. I mean, especially because I have Goku. I always had it in hand, or I always had the possibility to get it back. I never felt like I needed a third one. But if you do feel like you want a third one in your iteration of the deck, that's fine. Another thing is, if you don't have this card and you feel like you need it, you absolutely don't. Like, I understand, like, sorting is sorting. It's an amazing card on the broken side right now, to be honest. But you absolutely do not need to have this card in your deck. The easiest replacement for this is Fearless Fusion. If you don't know what that card is it's the same thing. It's the same exact things as sorting, but basically it's a blocker, 16k blocker that warps a 4 or less ignoring barrier. It's a very good replacement to this. It gives you a little bit more defense even, and yeah, like if you don't have what I'll say is that actually Fine Greeting is kind of cheap right now, to be honest, and I consider this a staple anyway. But if the promos are pretty important, you can always run something like 4 True Fighting Spirit as your Goku, and you can mess around with some other overwhelms. Like I do plan. This is another thing I said. I replied to this in a comment to somebody, but I do plan on making a video on like a more budget build. I am lucky to have access to most of these promos, but don't worry. I do plan on. I just my schedule's been getting very time constrained recently, to be honest. So I don't have as much time as I would like to do all this stuff. But I do plan on making a budget build video for you guys. Give you like a low budget, like a middle budget, and then this is more like a higher budget, like do whatever you want with your money kind of type thing. So like don't worry, you don't absolutely do not need these cards to make this deck competitive. I will say though that to make it as competitive as possible, you probably will need these. I could still be wrong on that, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Next, one of my defensive techs was Kai. It was in the side previously, and then I put it in the main. Very good. Like it's just a really good. Like it came in a lot. Negate, warp something, get an attack or combo off the board, and then she just another 5k combo. I did actually recycle it a couple times off of SS4, and it was very useful. So that's that. Next up, Koitsukai. Best card in the deck, hands down, no question about it. This is the best card in this deck. Insane value, like even more than Super Kamehameha. But like everybody's wanting to play these evolution booster blocker negates. You don't have a choice on those. You have to play a token. Like that's 2 cards gone. Like so many floodgates are battle cards. Like this card is absolutely freaking amazing. Main deck it. If you plan on playing this deck, like any deck really, that draws a lot or whatever. At least a side card. Koitsukai. It I wouldn't say it's broken necessarily, but it's extremely good card. Extremely, extremely, extremely good card. It just got our Judge version of it. It is kind of expensive right now, unfortunately, but if you can pick this up somehow, I definitely recommend it. And then SCR. So I heard a couple people, I just watched Eggman's video today, and go check him out. By the way, he did a quick rundown on the top 16 lists if you're interested in that. People were wondering about the SCR. I was getting asked about the SCR. It's a preference. If you want to run Kai, you can run Kai. If you want to run Lineage, you can run Lineage. It's entirely up to preference. They have different uses, and you'll always wish that you had a different one in certain situations. I really like Sin. Without Sin, I probably wouldn't have gone undefeated until the last round. It literally won me the game against Android 16, as I'll talk later. This card's just really amazing. Like I don't know what else to say. And again, like 100% of the credits for me playing this card go to Android. Like stage 0, holy crap, man! Like it's literally won me a couple games where I probably just wouldn't win otherwise. So, yeah, that's just a couple things that I wanted to run over really quick before I go into the tournament recap. Like I said, I don't want to do a whole in-depth thing because I already have a separate video dedicated to that. So let's talk about the tournament now. I don't know if I want to have you guys look at my beautiful mat or my ugly face, but so anyway, round 1, Gencon, 7 rounds. Round 1, I played against Gotenks. It was Robert DeCoste. I've seen that name before, but that was very unfortunate game for him. Like he had Green Reapers in life. He had like 2 Unisons in life. He was seeing all his one-ups. It was kind of a free game for me, unfortunately for him, because like he just had such a terrible game. It went to turn what 3, I think. I don't remember what turn it went to, but most of these games they go to turn 3, and if I can't finish it, turn 3 is because I got floodgated and I didn't have a response to it, or they just went through Koitsukai, something like that. But like I said before, this deck's game plan is kick the shit out of you turn 2, and put you in a position where you can't recover, and just finish you turn 3, and then it's still very good at going a long game. Where it struggles is like Icarus, like it has a very consistency throughout the game. Like no matter what position it's put in, it's able to recover. So that's why it might struggle a little bit. I still think this deck can beat it. I just had a very terrible game. Round 2, I actually played against my dad in Hatch. I actually lost, but he reported it as a win for me because he felt like I had a better chance than him to do good in the tournament. And yeah, I mean, Hatch is very hard, especially if you play against somebody that knows it, which is round 3. Like, I played against Hatch again, and my opponent just, they felt safe tapping out on turn 4 for Spice 8-drop Gogeta, and they were in fact not safe. They tapped out turn 4 and died, unfortunately for them. I just played Thwarting, Swung, and Warp It, and then I just went after him after that. Round 4, I played against. If y'all haven't seen him posted, please look it up on the Dragon Ball group for his post, and look at his list. Whatever you have to do, please look at this man's list. Anthony McAuliffe, AOD, awesome deck. I've played it before. Unfortunately for him, I think the biggest factor was that I have played that deck a lot before, and his list was very similar to what I had previously ran, so I knew exactly what the deck's potential was. I was actually kind of scared of it. I thought I might lose to it because the clapback is pretty strong, and I was just a little bit scared of it, but once I comboed Koitsukai out, I was talking to him in the comments and his post. Like, once I comboed Koitsukai, after he free played and stuff, he just tapped out on me because he was just going to get punished by Koitsukai too hard, and then I just like killed him immediately after I put him to like 2 life on my turn 2. He had 1 energy, and like I said, like I put you in a position where you just can't recover. Round 5 was Android 16. Like I said, this is a match where Shenron like saved my life. It was a really good game actually. I went first. I went first in most of these games. I actually don't know exactly the stats for that, but I did go first in most of these games, which is relevant. Going first in this deck is drastically different than going second, but that's only because people, when they go first, they have floodgates available, and that may or may not still be relevant as long as it's not an extra card. Floodgate like dormant, that's why green kind of sucks for me, but even then, like, it doesn't really matter as much. If I go second, I can just like crit you turn 1 basically, which is not like too bad. So while going first is drastically different than going second, it doesn't matter as much. But I did go first in most of my games. I didn't go first against Seraphim, unfortunately. But Andrew 16, it was a pretty close game. I rushed him really hard on turn 2 like I always do, and then he played the ramp 16 into 3 energy because he had hatch, so I got hatched. And then on turn 4, he tried killing me, and he arrivaled via the 7-drop Android 16 from his energy, and then played Bad Omen, tried killing me, but like I had this in hand, so like I comboed this, and I played it. I tapped his 16, I tapped his Omen, and I tapped his leader. He had no turn anymore, he was tapped out. Like, and then I was able to win after that. It was like this card saved my ass entirely. Although, if it was lineage, it would have been the same because I could have stolen his 16, for example. So in that sense, but Kai definitely wouldn't have won that match if like just to make that distinction clear. Like, lineage would have still won me the game there, but Kai would not have. Round 6, I played against Danny Wynn. Like we all know who he is, but unfortunately I went first, basically, and my game was actually worse than it should have been. I drew 2 Spirit Boost minions, but I didn't. I didn't mill a unison or have a unison in hand for turn 2, so I missed out on 4 attacks I could have had on turn 2. But like I was just able to finish them fast. Again, like I push you to 2-3 life on turn 2, and then you're just like constantly on the backside, unless you're like consistently able to recover and stuff like that. So it was kind of a rollover, unfortunately for him. He had like a ton of cards in hand, but like my final attack was big enough to where it didn't really matter. Swing later, he didn't have a negate, just went double strike on it. And then the last round, I played against Seraphim Zhang, who won, who I lost to. I literally didn't draw Koitsukai on, or mill it, by the way. I didn't mill or draw it until like turn 5, and I milled both of my Super Kamehamehas. So I couldn't stop Riposte when he used it to counter, and I was just playing from behind, and then eventually he slapped on the Vegeta Unison, and like I just didn't create, like I put him to 3 life on turn 2, but then from there on I wasn't able to do anything because like I just didn't see Koitsukai and my counterplay. So if I had, or maybe if I main deck 3 Koitsukais, which that was my regret, I probably would have been able to win the entire event. But it was a great match. He played properly. All of my opponents played properly for the most part, except except for the second hatch play that I played. Unfortunately, I don't think tapping out on turn 4 against him was smart, regardless of whether you're playing Vegeta or not, because I literally grabbed thwarting back with beyond all limits. So at that point, you can't be playing Gogeta on me, to be honest. So that was one mistake. But other than that, like nobody played wrong. It's just this deck is gas. Like I will. I, I don't want a lot of people to play this deck because I want to play this deck and I don't want to deal with mirrors. But play this deck. It's very good. It's very aggro. I don't want to say it's broken, but it's kind of nuts. Like I'm getting people to play it. I'm getting a couple of my teammates to play it now. Finally, it's very good, and I'm even willing to say that it's better than Gogeta Zeno because the tools that it has is very good. Gogeta Zeno has very good tools as well. It has the blocker. It has access to thwarting very easily, and it goes with the deck. Fusion. It has access to Marvelous Might, which is a very good card. Playing the Unisons for free, and just all around a very good deck. But I would say that Gogeta Zeno gasses out relatively fast against some of what the current stuff is. I think personally, I don't think it's as explosive potentially, which I'm probably wrong on that. But I don't play that deck, so I wouldn't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't feel like it's as explosive, and I don't feel like it's as defensive either. This is a huge thing for this deck. This TP, this card's absolutely freaking insane. It's literally Nimbus on a 20k battle card. Granted, you do need a Unison in play because it's Spirit Boost, but it's part of the counter, so you can't do anything about it coming in. You can just counter the battle card so you don't have to deal with a 20k swing. But it's literally Nimbus. I literally extend turn 2 or 3, and if I don't kill you, I just pass, slap this card down, and go, alright, you can't kill me anymore. Even if I'm at 3 or 2 life, okay, like you just can't kill me anymore. And then you have to pass to me and just die. So, wow, that was relatively short, but I just wanted to go over that for you guys. I'll make sure to put the other video in the description for you guys to check out, so you can watch in-depth deck profile, and then come back. As always, this channel is for y'all and for the community. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, always please let me know in the comments. Shoot me a message. I'm an open book. I'm always open to messages. I've received messages and I've responded to them all the time. I've got some people wanting to play this deck now, of course, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel and supporting the channel. I would really appreciate it. We are almost at 100 subscribers. I really appreciate that. I know that I'm not uploading as much. I'm trying to aim for at least one upload a week now. School's got me pretty busy. For several reasons, but I'm trying. I'm not sure about streaming anymore, to be honest. It's quite hard, as I don't like to play online and stuff like that, but try to figure out something for you guys. But with that being said, Peace, guys. Take care.